Hello everyone, it's Andrew Chubb here, CEO of Awalé Resources. Just today we've announced some fantastic results. 59 metres at 14.7 grams this follow-up at Charger is absolutely fantastic for us. So without further ado, let's just pop through. Forward-looking statements. I am making some forward-looking statements in this presentation, so this is quite important. We're going to be talking about what this really means and the scale potential that we've got at Charger. So quick recap where we are. Charger sits down here amongst in the OEDD East permit. It is a joint venture permit, and but it's really exciting stuff. The drill holes that we've just reported. Here it is again, that 59 metres at 14.7 grams per tonne. That's this hole here in orange. And you can see these three holes here. What I've got displayed is the best drill intersections in the last 12 months. And you can see that both us and West African Resources at Sanbrado have dominated this. The Sanbrado drilling is follow-up on what is actually being mined. And so they're drilling down dip and plunge of a known resource like brownfields drilling, whereas Charger is a greenfields discovery, and it's pretty exciting to have hit three holes at such fantastic grade and metre intercepts. So the first one is roughly 1,500 gram metres. That was announced back in March, and then we had OEDD-100 a couple of months ago. And that was just under 600 gram metres or 580 gram metres, and then we've got the last one, OEDD-100, which is over 800 gram metres again. And all these holes, you know, they are spaced away from each other. So we're looking at a plan view here. Basically, I've just displayed all the diamond drilling at Charger, and in red we've got the drill holes that have hit the target breccia, and so we can see now that we've got 150 to 200 meters of drill holes that have hit the target breccia along strike. This is a plan view, so we've got this northeast mineralized corridor, and the big thing that we've picked up on in this recent round of drilling is that the intrusion here it's folded, so there is folding associated with the mineralization, and there is thickening in the hinges, and the high grades are in the hinges, and then we're seeing lower grades when we're in the limb zones of these faults. So this next slide is a cross section through OEDD-100, which is a scissor of 83, and you can see that we've got over 30 meters of true width in between these two holes now. And the interpretation is that it is a fold hinge. There is lots of evidence that we picked up when we've gone back and looked through the core. And I guess what we found is order in some breccias that we thought were extremely disordered. And when we went back and thought about it with the new idea of it being potentially folded, you could actually see that there is order in the drill quarter in the breccia rather than just disorder. And this is also supported by two holes in a previous release which actually had no significant values. And the reason for that is that they're drilled behind the fold train. So this is a long section going through. So we're looking through all the drilling that we've done toward the northwest, and again, so this is just trying to give you the scope. So we haven't been drilling directive specials, we've been drilling holes to understand the system, and 88, 83, the original hole, and 100, the distance between 80 here in 83 and 100 across to 88 is actually 40 meters. And the distance, like I said, there's 30 meters here. And if we start to think about these kind of average grades, which I didn't talk about before, but the average grade between these three holes is actually 20 grams per tonne. And we're talking about significant widths. So if you start to think about fold hinges and the thickening in the fold hinges of like where you join those together, if it's like a cylinder. And so if we have an average grade of 15 grams per ton, every 100 meters of fold hinge that we find is 250,000 ounces. And we're not limited to one sort of fold train. We think that from the drilling that we've done, we think there is multiple fold hinges that subsequent drill programs will test. So we don't have to move very far to put together significant high-grade ounces at Charger. The other thing that we announced in this release is this Hole OEDD-100. We've intercepted breccia at depth. So this is 150 to 200 meters below the drilling that we've done to date. So we know that the breccia is open at depth as well. So there is significant scope for us to find more high-grade drilling at Charger, which will just complement the which will complement what we've been drilling at BBM as well. So we've just started drilling at BBM, and then we'll get a little bit later this year, we'll have a drill rig up and running at Charger as well. So it's just a quick look at the drill core. The grades, one of the key things with these high grade intercepts, they're not carried by a nugget. There is consistent high grade results throughout the drill interceptions. Please click on the link in the news release, have a look at the drill core. It's marked up with the consistent high-grade mineralization throughout each of those intercepts in OEDD-100, OEDD-88, and the original hole back in March of 83. And as I mentioned, the weighted grade, the average grade of all three of these holes is 20 grams per ton. And we now believe that we've got a model where we can chase this and build the size and scope of Charger rapidly. So this is just a quick slide to show you about order and disorder. So what we've done here is divide out where we are in the fold hinge in OEDD-83, where the high-grade mineralization is. You can actually see some small-scale folding, but because it is you get variable angles in these hinge zones. If you look at this cartoon over to the right of there, and then you will get consistent core angles out in the limbs. And so over here, this is out in the limbs. You can see between each of these pieces of core, there is a consistent core angle. And on the micro scale, or on the small scale, we also see the folding with thickening in the hinges and attenuation or thinning in the limbs. And this is what we're now marking out on a larger scale between drill holes. So this is really exciting stuff for us, and we can't wait to get back into drilling again at Charger. Again, so the average gram meters for the hinge zone, for this particular hinge, this is just one hinge. There are more, but this has got an average gram meter of 735 gram meters. So that's when we multiply that average grade of 20 by the number of meters in each of those holes. So the average gram meters is 735. And then out in the limbs, we still get 50 to 100 gram meters out in the limbs. The average that we calculated here is 40, but 40 gram meters is still significant. It just, fortunately for us, it looks small against the super high grades we get at Charger. So just quickly coming back to this, we've got 3 of the best results in West Africa in the last 12 months from Charger. And behind that, we've also been producing those consistent 2 to 3 gram broad intercepts at BBM as well. And we've got some news releases coming up for BBM in the future too. And as an aside, just to close this off, we think this is really exciting. But I've also recorded another webinar which has got a little bit more detail on the fold model. And if you go to our website or go to our YouTube page, you'll be able to find that, where I discuss the fold model at Charger in a little bit more detail. But everyone, thanks very much for your time. We're really excited about these results, and we're really excited about what the new model and what we can do at Charger. So thanks very much, and I'm sure we'll be speaking again soon.